Now, you said you miss the violence of playing the game. How do you can't replace that.
Yeah.
Or can you?
No, you can't. And I think, it sounds very primitive for me to say, but I've been playing football my whole life. And one of the things that I loved about football was that you get to hit people. And I'll never forget in Pop Warner, when I first put on a helmet and a pair of shoulder pads and I went out to practice, that first tackle, I mean, it's a rush. And look, I don't do drugs. That was my drug. That rush of hitting somebody, there's something to that. And I think boxers, they love that aspect.
But do you mind
MMA,
pain?
love that. I love pain. And I think that's kind of what separates good football players from great football players. You've got to like pain to play in the NFL. You've got to be able to deal with it. You've got to like to get hit, I think, in order to be an offensive lineman, because you're getting hit. If we run 65 plays in a game, I'm hitting somebody every single play. It's not like a quarterback or a receiver who may have 35 snaps and maybe he gets tackled twice. Totally different game. So I miss the violence, and it's something that you really have to come to grips with, because you don't want to get in trouble. I mean, I'm a pretty chill dude off the field, but man, when I got on the field and I put that helmet on, I felt like Sylvester Stallone and Over the Top. You turn that hat around and you just kind of become somebody different, and it's kind of cool to be somebody else. And that's the way that I took, playing football, and that's the way that I took the approach that I took when I go on the field. And
well, part of the problem is you have guys who are on the field the way they are off the field.
Yeah, that's where the challenge is. And you mentioned, how do you handle that when you're done playing? What's your outlet? And you've got to work out. It's funny. My wife and I were having this conversation the other day. She's like, sometimes you get a little angry, and and I'm like, yeah, if I don't work out, if I go a couple days without working out, I start to get really kind of twitchy and like just kind of anxious. And so you need to have that physical outlet, because if you've done it for so long, I mean, I played 11 years in the NFL, 5 years at Rutgers. That's a long time to be doing that, to be training and physically exerting yourself. So to not have that was, you have to find some sort of outlet. Chris Snee is a buddy of mine that lives in town. He goes to spin class like 4 days a week, and he rides the bike. He's all into cardio, and that's kind of been his outlet. He's lost like 100 pounds, and he looks great. But that's kind of been his that's been his outlet and his solace since he's been away from the game. But it's funny, you got that poster over there, the Goodfellas poster.
Yeah,
I love that movie, by the way. That Martin Scorsese film. But there's a quote on that poster. I don't know if you guys have ever read it, but it's by Henry Hill. And it says, "As long as I can remember, I've always wanted to be a gangster." That's all he wanted to be. And as long as I can remember, all I wanted to do was play football. When I was 5 years old, I told my Sunday school teacher that I was born to play football, and that's what I wanted to do. And so when you're done with it, it just kind of, wow,